an asset, or was an asset, and is getting a state burial out of it. So it's great that on this week of his burial, we could also, in some sense, celebrate his life, and then in the same vein, try and celebrate those who are doing what he did, so that we can celebrate them before they also pass away. It's
living legends before we say they've passed and they were great. Okay, well, that's it. How many are we going to celebrate this morning?
I think we're gonna just go. We're gonna go and go until it looks like time is running out. And maybe if you allow it, we can give some people the chance. You know, if you had a lecturer or scientist who particularly impacted your life positively, if you want to call in and give them a shout out, thanks. Maybe we can look at
make that happen. Sure. I'm sure we can squeeze that in. Okay, so let's begin. Who's first on your list?
Let's just spend a little time just talking about Dr. Allotey.
Okay,
Professor Allotey.
Professor Allotey.
Because it's great. Whenever I teach my students, whenever I'm lecturing, I like to tell them that, you know, when you learn all these funny little equations and names of little drugs, someone out there discovered it, and then they chose to name it after themselves, after something they found interesting. Really, whoever discovers it has the privilege of naming it, and we don't get that much of it here in Ghana. So Professor Allotey, with the work that he did back during his early days, actually got a formula, an equation of sorts named after him, which is work that he did. So it's great because that's something that we can celebrate.
Okay, but Doc, just so we help those who may not have been following his work and his exploits in the world of science, help us appreciate what formula did he do and what was he used for?
So interestingly, it was in line with physics. He was a physicist, and me being a biologist, I have some limited understanding, so bear with me in this, but it had to do with being able to sort of theorize how some of the electrons in certain elements behave under different energy states and conditions, and the impact of that is sort of it comes into play if you looking at astral work, so stuff to do with space science and all the rocket science that's involved to go with it. So it's in that sense, you wouldn't come across it unless you were sort of like a specialist in the physics field.
Okay.
But that's just that specific thing. Regarding what he's done, I think there are many people in Ghana who he's probably touched their lives directly or indirectly. So we know that KNUST, like this, in the early days he was the HOD, so the head of department of the maths. You can imagine the number of people that passed through his hands. Set up the computer science department over there. You can imagine all the new sort of breed of technology guys. A lot of them would have passed through there, and it wouldn't have been if not for him. And he was also heading up the African Institute of Mathematical Science, which I think is one of those unsung heroes we have in Ghana, in the sense that this the African Institute of Mathematical Science, it's only been set up in about 4 or 5 countries in Africa. So I know Ghana, South Africa, Kenya, and Gambia also. And basically what they do is they just train in mathematical scientists at the postgraduate level, and it's pretty much at no cost to these students. So they try and find funding, bring in experts in the field, and train these people. So he was heading that up, and it was there thanks to him. So I think in his passing, it's just great to just give people the opportunity to realize that, look, you may not have directly been touched by him, but in terms of the world of academia, he was a legend in every sense of the word, and inspired so many people. Even the guy who set up the African Institute of Mathematical Science was inspired. He talks about being at a conference and seeing Professor Allotey, pretty much the only African amongst all these European and Western scientists, and being able to hold his own and being very much on par. So he's a man definitely worth celebrating. Okay,
so that's for Professor Allotey. Okay, so who's up next on your list?
All right, so we're gonna just start walking down this list and see where we go. So because of the stuff he did, very mathematical in nature, I think the next person I want us to look at is one of those who I guess has reached I personally think he's almost at a legendary status now, which is Professor Gordon Awandari. He is at the University of Ghana. He heads up one of their centers over there, the West African Cell Center for Infectious Biological Pathogens. Yeah, it's called WAGBIP.
WAGBIP, okay.
Yeah, you may have come across it.
I think I had one of them from that department join us to talk about, was it about climate change or something?
Yeah, you'll have. And the reason he, I think, is really worth celebrating.
On GMOs, I think I remember.
On GMOs, yeah. Yes. So the reason he's particularly worth celebrating is because of what he has achieved with that department. So he pretty much went into that department when it was, let's say it was dying. The biochemistry department was pretty much dying. And for 2 years was pretty much working out there with near to no finances, just looking for money everywhere and anywhere he could get it. And yeah, you can imagine in Ghana for 2 years trying to find money to do your research. But he managed to pull it off. Got like a few £100,000 to start off with, but then shortly after that, together with like a team, we're talking about in 2013, they managed to secure an $8 million sort of like grant to be able to get some work going on there. And that's huge, because that's what they used to set up this WAGBIP. And now they're training master students, they're training PhD students, not only in Ghana but across West Africa.
Oh, wow.
And you know, in the government is now thinking of actually financing academia
after how many years?
After a good number of years, way more than they should have. But the point is, they are now heading towards that. So you can imagine that's part of the reason why research is a bit slow in Ghana. There isn't a lot of money around. So for someone to come in and with a small team be able to secure this amount of money is huge. And now they're not just training more researchers in Ghana, but serving the whole West Africa continent. Yes, someone definitely worth celebrating. Okay. So if we get a chance, I think maybe we should one day have him in here as well.
In the studio for a conversation.
Yeah, come and tell his story. Come and tell his story as well.
I mean, there are so many people who do stuff in science for us in Ghana that we don't get to hear about. You've mentioned two names now. One who's into the area of biochemistry, another in mathematics. I'm just wondering, do you have someone who's done something a little futuristic that we can celebrate this morning?
Wow, futuristic. You see, it depends on what you call futuristic, because you know a lot of people say future is now, sort of thing. But yeah, let's see who. So there's Dr. Kwabena Boahen. Well, although he's Ghanaian, he's not working out of Ghana at the minute. I believe he's in Stanford. He's working out there. And for those who are listening, he's a pre-second, so you know, just I'll throw that out there. Yeah, you know,
that's fine.
Just for people to know. But yeah, so what he's doing, I'll consider what he's doing sort of futuristic because it really is at a cutting edge, and it's to do with computer chips. So typically, computer chips, the way they work is very much digital in nature. It's like ones and zeros, and that's how they work. But the idea is that's a bit limiting. And if you can get them to work the way the brain works, it means you can just increase their ability. I mean, we're talking 1,000-folds, okay? And that's what he's working on, seeing how you can design a computer chip that works pretty much like the brain works. And it's a cutting-edge area. Pretty much no one knows where it's going, how it's going to turn out. And he's there right at the forefront of it.
Dr.
Kwabena Boahen.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, I mean, globally, the work that he's doing is recognized. People are following his footsteps because that's where we realize right now computers are reaching a limit of what they can do. So, this is built to take it to the next step. Nice.
Dr. Kwabena Boahen. I'll bear the name in mind.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure here in Ghana, there are some things that we need everyday solutions to. So, sanitation, health, education. We can actually give a very tall list of things that science can help us in fixing as problems. Do you have some of the names of people who've done work in that regard that are worth celebrating?
All right, so I'm going to give two. One will be sort of like she's there, it's clear, like she's achieved. Another will make it our future legends category. So Dr. Aku Kwame, she's pretty much into health systems research. And it's funny that we are now looking to celebrate her, whereas across the continent she's actually already been celebrated and will be honored this March at an event that's taking place in Rwanda. So it's something called the Next Einstein Forum. The idea, like Next Einstein, trying to find the next Einstein, but from Africa. So every they get fellows, a cohort of the best researchers in Africa, and celebrate them, give them the additional training to take them to the next level. And she's pretty much our Ghanaian representative. The last time they did it, no Ghanaian got selected. This year they're doing it, she got selected, so it's great. And her work's looking like health systems research in terms of management, how health systems can better be designed and also managed to ensure maximum sort of like service delivery.
So it's a body of research she's done, or she's created something?
She's done and she's doing. So in terms of like management of health systems, so we're talking about the fact that she's served on boards for the WHO, she's consulted for international organizations who really want to understand how to manage health systems, and that's her area, that's her specialty. So,
and how has she practicalized that in our healthcare delivery system here in Ghana?
I'm not sure if she's worked extensively on the Ghanaian health service, but I know she is based out here in Ghana. So possibly another one that we should look at. She can speak best to her work. I mean, we've been talking about the last few weeks about hospitals and what has been built that is not working, and financing and all of that. And here's someone who's been celebrated across the continent for
what's her name again?
Aku Kwame, AKU and then Kwame. I think it has an I, KWAMIE. Yeah.
Kwame,
Okay, yeah. So I guess she's the one that I'd say, I mean, being celebrated. Then we talk about what I said, future legend or so. Is one young man who's working out of Kumasi. His name is Isaac Sessi. Now the reason I'm particularly mentioning him when you mention our local problems is he recently, coming from tech, he's a tech graduate, and one of the projects that the final year project we were working on was a moisturizer, a moisture detector. So for like, you know, when you package grains, whether you want dry grains and so on, to be able to detect how dry it is, that's the project they were working on at the time. And it's something that they've decided after finishing, they've decided to take it the full length, actually build a product out of it here in Ghana.
So what is it, like a tester of sorts?
Yeah, so it's something that basically you can make available to farmers, and then they can stick inside all the bags of grains that they are packaging, and then it can tell you, well, how much moisture is in here. Because if there's too much moisture, then that means it will go off very quickly.
It'll go bad.
Yes, pretty much. So there's something that they are building out of a final year project, and they've now built this thing to be able to do it. And they're building it all here. So it's not like you getting it built in China and then importing or something like that. It's been done here. And considering this is coming out of uni, you can then just project like
where it's going to go.
Exactly. Like a few years from now, what he could be doing. Has a whole organization set up, Invent Electronics, that's pretty much trying to solve local problems by building local stuff, really focused on local content. And in this day and age where a lot of people are very much money oriented and they just want to make it big and get it out of the country, it's great to see guys like him.
Okay, it's some 35 minutes past 9 right here on Morning Star. This is The Horizon, our special science, tech, engineering and mathematics program here on Morning Star. We're looking at developments in the world of science, but today we're celebrating scientists, people who are doing amazing things, who are Ghanaian and are changing the narrative in helping us fix our problems and also creating things to help us be better at developing. It's time for our science fun fact, but after the fact we will look at for these scientists, they were they became what they are by virtue of those who taught them.
Yeah.
From the science labs in secondary school to universities. I'm sure there are many of them that you have on your list. So you can send us a tweet. That teacher who made you love science, who made you love physics, chemistry, biology, send us a message on WhatsApp 0266 900 980. Let's read and celebrate that person for you here on the show. You maybe at some point we'll open the lines for you to also have your say in that regard. Celebrate that special someone. But it's time for our science fun fact for today, and let's see if I can laugh some more this morning.
An international research team led by Dr. Kweku Treme, a lecturer of chemistry at the University of Ghana, has discovered a set of new compounds which has great potential as a cancer-fighting agent. The researchers have named the compounds Legon-mycins after Legon, where it was discovered. This adds to other discoveries with Ghanaian names like hemoglobin Kolebu, which was named in the 1970s by Dr. Felix Konote Aholo.
So we have something called what? Legon-mycins.
Legon-mycins. Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
And there's hemoglobin Kolebu.
Yeah, and this is one of the old ones that I came across. So yeah, I spoke to some a network of science guys I belong to, and then one pointed out this hemoglobin Kolebu to me. Yeah, and I looked at it, I was like, okay, wow.
Legon-mycins.
Yes.
What's that?
So it's this like a compound they extracted from plant extract.
Okay.
And it looks like it has properties to be able to fight cancer. So
Cancer?
a newly identified compound which could help fight cancer. And if it all pans out well, then you'll be getting cancer drugs that are called Legon-mycin. So
That should be great.
yeah, we really taking Ghanaian names and Ghanaian things out there.
To a global level.
To a global
And for this
level.
Legon-mycins thing, do you know when it's gonna become commercial?
No. So I guess we should add that to the list of someone else we need to have in here to come.
And look at it in some more detail.
Yes,
That's
yes.
fine. Okay, so that's the point when I begin to remember the one who taught me science. I'll remember, don't worry. These great scientists that we are referring to, what top people?
Yeah.
Who are some of the top science lecturers or teachers that you want to celebrate this morning?
Wow. Okay. So there's I'm at the physiology department of the University of Ghana Medical School, and we recently lost one of our staff, Dr. Entry, who had been there for a good number of years, and many students had passed through his hand. And I myself, when I started out there, he was very instrumental in me getting into that space. So yeah, Dr. Entry, I believe, is one worth remembering. But if we also talking about all the those that have taught a number of people all through, I think Dr. Elsie Kaufman is also worth celebrating in this regard.
The quiz mistress?
Yes. So the quiz mistress, but when she's not being quiz mistress, you find her in the biomedical engineering department of the University of Ghana, one of few female staff in that department, and pretty much a large number of the people within my circle, doing science activities, helping to promote STEM, many of them passed through her hands, and I think she was very instrumental in sort of giving them that idea of really going out and contributing to the science of others. So she's following in the footsteps of Professor Irama Adi. Yep. She's doing great work like that. And just 2 weeks ago, I had one of these young men I work with, and he had the opportunity to meet her, and he was just ecstatic about it. And she's such a lovely person, so knowledgeable, so great at what she does, and definitely worth celebrating.
Okay, I'm still going through.
Trying to remember your science teacher's name.
I remember for primary school and also for secondary. I remember it's Mr. Kujo. Yeah, from Accra Academy, Mr. Kujo. I don't know about
Mr. Kudro, if you are listening, Francis has remembered you, so that's great at least.
for primary school, I don't recall. That's me being very, very honest. But we'll see if somebody can rejig my memory on that. But based on that, we look at those who are doing amazing stuff. We listen at those who are also trying to do something different when it comes to science. But if you look at how it's even taught at the basic level, Dr. Tagoe, I'm sure there's a quick digression for what we're doing for celebration, but do you see a certain premium placed on science teachers, what they do, and how they translate something that's very complex and has to be seen physically onto paper for people to understand?
So I don't think we place a premium on them, and we probably should. No, we definitely should. So not just science, like science and maths, those complex ones, because a lot of students, it seems like they start out, if you're able to get them to love it in the early stages, then they are set, it stays with them. So the teachers who are able to do this and do this really well need to be recognized. I believe, like, was it 2-3 weeks ago, one of our science news was about one of our Dr. Silas Anku going on to the World Teacher Prize, for the work that he does. So no, we don't place a premium on them. We really should, and help them build capacity in what they do, because it doesn't always come easy knowing how to take a complex idea and make it very relatable to young students for them to get. And those who are able to do that, I think it's a talent that needs to definitely be celebrated.
You know what I want to do now? Let's do this. For the next 5 minutes, give us a call this morning. Let's celebrate your science teacher this morning. Give us a call, 030223 1144, 030223 1145. Who was your science teacher in primary school or in secondary school, or even at a tertiary level that you want to celebrate this morning? Give us a call, 030223 1144, 030223 1145.
Look, who was mine?
Yeah, I knew mine.
I knew you were going to ask that. Right, and this way, if my classmates are listening, I'm gonna. Okay, wait. So, I think in GHS I had a science teacher, Sir Light. That was his name. He was pretty good, but I wouldn't say he was the one that really inspired me to do science. At the secondary, at the secondary level, I had a science teacher. My biology teacher had a Greek name, Mr. Spiropoulos. Spiropoulos, that was his name. Okay. But he was really pivotal in me becoming what I am today, because this guy, he didn't look like your typical science teacher. And I know some people will be wondering about what does your typical science teacher look like. Yeah. But trust me,
hold on for just a second. Dora is joining us from Accra. Dora, good morning.
Good morning.
Let's celebrate your science teacher. What's his name? What class was he in?
My science teacher. Oh, I thought it was teachers though. Science
teacher specific.
Oh, okay. Then my science teacher in JSS. Okay, he was really good to me. I didn't like science much, but because of him, I grew up liking science.
What's his name?
His name was Mr. Buznaba. Unfortunately, he's passed.
Oh,
Yes, I went to staff school at Teshinungwa.
Staff school in Teshinungwa?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yes. All right. What about, was that the only science teacher you had?
That was the only science teacher who really made a great impact in my life and made me love the subject science. I didn't like science. But after him, I realized that my interest in science grew. And he wasn't the typical teacher who would, he would cane you a few times, but if you went to him personally, you would get a lot from him. And I used to do that a lot. I like worrying my teachers because I believe that I would get a lot from them.
Interesting. Dora, thank you. Thank you for sharing with us this morning. Your science teacher who impacted positively on your life. You can also do the same. Give us a call this morning, 030223 1144, 030223 1145. That science teacher who impacted your life positively and you want to celebrate this morning. You were mentioning
yes, so I was talking about Mr. Spiropoulos, my biology teacher.
What a name!
I know. I told you it's a Greek name. But yeah. So the reason being that at that time I just wanted to become a doctor. You know, I wanted to do medicine, become a doctor. But then I wasn't really too sure about it because there were other things I enjoyed, and it didn't seem like I could do a doctor and still enjoy those things. But this guy,
like what?
I enjoyed my rap music. At one point, I think I wanted to be a musician, but no.
Like who, Tupac or B.I.G.?
No. I think I wasn't really a Tupac fan. I was on the 50 Cent line, but no more. That's that's some years back now. But yeah, so this guy, when I say he didn't look like your typical science teacher, he was a rugby player. So I mean, he was a huge guy, thick, tall. And it just seemed so difficult for me to connect someone who was very physically active and good in sports, and then at the same time an excellent science teacher. Because I grew up thinking you are one or either.
Science people are nerds.
Not really great at sports.
Okay.
So that combination made me sort of look. You can enjoy what you do, like the arts, music,
your rap.
And
still be a scientist.
And still be a scientist.
So let's celebrate the science teacher this morning. Yours, especially for you listening to us this morning. Give us a call 030223 1144 030223 1145. Did we miss anyone else on your list that you want to carry up quickly?
I think quickly. I think I want to talk about Lucy Quist. I want to talk about her because during for the past few years, yes, she great engineer. She managed to be the first female CEO heading up Airtel. At the time, it was on its own. But then beyond that, I think she really made it a personal mission to encourage other girls to get into science, and doing a whole lot of projects across. And it's something that's been consistent. She's just consistently doing it and investing in people. So there are many. There are many people who are working in the science space, trying to build capacity in students in science, who are now setting up STEM clubs, and she really is a contributory factor to that. So I think just as we were just mentioning Professor Irama Adi, and I talked about Dr. Elsie Kaufman, I will put her up there with the rest of them because it's really she's really serving as a role model and an inspiration for more women to be able to enter into science. So yeah, I'll throw it up there with the rest of them.
Interesting. Okay. Doc, I want to say a big thank you to you. We're out of time. But I'm sure for many that we have celebrated today, it shouldn't just end here. In fact, we can continue throughout the day on all our social media handles. We are Star1035FM. The hashtag is MorningStar. What's your handle on Twitter, Doc?
Tom_DAT.
Okay, mine is at Francis_Abban. Let's celebrate our science teachers for those who are helping us and appreciating the value of solving problems through the power of science and being innovative. I guess that's where the starting point is really for all of us.
Exactly.
Yeah. Dr. Thomas Tagoe is with the Ghana Science Association, and he's a scientist who loves rap. I learned something today about you that.
One of these days, if you get me in a good mood, I'll give you a science freestyle on morning radio. Why not?
That would be interesting. We may try that for next week. You never know. You never know. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time. Let me just drop a quick 50 for you. Let's see if that will work today. No, not this one. Not this one. I'll get you a better one sometime later. But thank you so much for your time this morning. I'm sure this may work. Let's see.
The money goes into my piggy bank.
Today was a little bit, yeah?
Yeah, it works a little bit.
Thank you so much for your time, Dr. Thomas Tagoe. I never knew he had that side of him till today. Okay.